Hi everyone, I hope you're all well and welcome to today's video. In this video we are going to be looking at level 31 to 32, and as you can probably guess, we are not going to go through the instructions because they are the same. So we simply need to navigate to and log in as Bandit 31, which I have already done, and we create a unique temporary file or directory rather using this command. Yes, that is all. Yes, and then clone this repository, keeping in mind the port number. So git clone. Let me retrieve the password. The output confirms that the repository has been cloned, so to confirm that, yes, now let us navigate into it, clear this out. It only has the readme, so let us see what the readme has to say. This time it has a new set of instructions where we are told that this time your task is to push a file to the remote repository, and the details are, so we need to create a file whose name is that. It needs to have this content, and we are pushing it to the master branch. In the previous levels, we were working with the files that were already used in the commit history, but this time we are creating our own and pushing it. So the others were just all pre-existing files, but this time we are creating our own and pushing it, which simply means creating a file and then pushing it to a remote branch. Yes, so to do that in Linux, the simplest way to just create and populate a file in one line is to use echo, copy that content, paste it, and then redirect that. Since now it has been, echo will output this. Now we redirect that output to a file named key.txt to confirm that, yes. But before we push this file, we need to remember that when pushing, there is something called version control. I mean, this whole everything about Git is version control, and with that we need to confirm if we have a git ignore file, which is here. Based on the name, you can already guess that it is used to filter certain files and directories such that they are not pushed to whether production, or they are just not included in version control. That is how you can frame it. The files and directories that are listed in that file are not included in the version control. That is the purpose of that file. Now let us see if there's any that has been included. Yes, we have one exclusion. When you see this asterisk, it simply means that any file with the .txt extension will not be included. Now there are two ways of going about this. You can simply remove this line from the file, or you can explicitly include a file even if it has been excluded in this git ignore file. And how we are going to use that option, since we cannot directly change this since we do not have access to this repository. So how we do that is git add, and then use that option to forcefully add that file. So to see if it has been added, you can use git status. Yes, so now we can commit it and then include a commit message, add key.txt. So add the whichever message that you want to include. Yes, that confirms that we have committed it. Now let us push it. Let me retrieve the password. I have retrieved the password, so let me just copy it and paste it. Let me do that again. Yes, once we push that, we get these messages. Of course, at the end here, we do not have any access rights to this repository, so we do not have any permission to push, so that is why we are receiving this kind of error. But notice in the message we have this line here which says, well done, here is the password for the next level, and then below it we have the password for the next level. That is how you needed to go about this. You simply create a file, push it, and then make sure to include it in version control. Yeah, by now you should have substantial knowledge in Git, and these are just some of the concepts that you'll need to even work with in the real world. So yeah, I hope this was valuable enough, and with that I will see you in the next and final level, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, thank you and bye bye.